All right. Welcome to November 9th, 2023, joint meeting of the Board of Directors. Call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the invocation led by Director Wagner and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Director Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lord, by your grace, we are made one in mind and heart. Give us a love for what you command and a longing for what you promise, so that amid this world's changes, our hearts may be set on the world of lasting joy. We ask this in your name. Amen.
As you pledge allegiance to the flag today, I'd like you to remember that Saturday is Veterans Day, and this time and every time you pledge, it would be nice to give a thought of gratitude to those who have served and a little prayer for those who are serving these days. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, we'll call the roll.
Chair O'Neill.
Here.
Vice Chair Heft. Here. Director Connors. Director Connors. Here. Director Hurd. Here. Director Otto.
Here.
Alternate Stevens. Director Federico.
Here.
Alternate Meeks.
Here.
Director Beal.
Here.
Director Bilodeau. Director Chafee. Present. Director Frost.
Here.
Director Haney.
Here.
Director Lombard. Director Voits.
Here.
Chair Taylor.
Here.
Vice Chair Kelly. Alternate Annis.
Here.
Director Khan. Director Panaloza. Director Wagner. Director Orso. Mr. Chair, we have quorum on both boards.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll move into our public comments section. At this time, members of the public may address the Board of Directors regarding any items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Boards of Directors, but no action may be taken on off-agenda items unless authorized by law. Written public comments received in advance of the meeting will be distributed to the directors. Public comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person and 1 hour for comments unless the chair, subject to the approval of the Board of Directors, sets different time limits. If needed, additional public comments will be held before the closed session portion of the agenda. During public comments, continue part 2 and shall be limited to 3 minutes per person unless the chair, subject to the approval of the Board of Directors, sets different time limits. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
There are no public comments.
All right. So just a quick reminder as we move through the items, if you have any questions or comments, just raise your hand. I will call on you. We'll move first into the consent calendar for San Joaquin Hills. Do we have any directors that would like to pull or discuss any of the items on the consent calendar from San Joaquin Hills?
I'll move approval.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, can you
Yes.
clarify who made the motion and the second?
I'm sorry, the motion was made by Director Heft, the second was made by Director Connors. Vice Chair Heft. And then we'll move into the Foothill Eastern consent calendar, items 1, 2, 4, and 6 through 9. For Foothill Eastern, do we have any directors that would like to pull any or discuss any of the items? Seeing none, I'll entertain motion.
I'll move the item.
Moved by Director Voits,
I'll second.
second by Director Haney. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. We will now move into our board business item, which is just one item, item number 10, which addresses only Foothill Eastern. It is the 24191 Express Connector Contract Amendment. This will be a presentation given by Mr. Spears.
Good morning, Chair O'Neill and directors. David Spears. I'm the Deputy Chief of Capital Programs, and the item before you this morning is a request for a amendment to design services contract with our designer for the 24191 Express Connector project. A little background. This, as you're aware, is a median-to-median tolled connector. It provides regional traffic benefits, and it's fully funded by TCA. The image on the right side of the screen, the blue line, is a representation of the new Express Connector. When we began work on this project a number of years ago, it consisted of about 3 miles of freeway improvements And then when we restarted the work in 2020, we actually expanded the project scope to provide a more comprehensive solution. So the details and limits of the work are shown on this graphic. There are 7 miles of improvements, 2 new bridges, 4 bridge widenings, 1.4 miles of retaining walls, and 1 new tolling point. We've made substantial progress to date on the design. We've completed 34 engineering reports, 4 major submittals to Caltrans, 5 construction encroachment permits have been obtained from local cities, 14 environmental technical studies have been completed, and we've received our permit from the Water Board. We do have several additional permits that we're working on, and there's some remaining design work, and that's the subject of what I'm presenting to you today. So to give you the status, the budget status of the design contract, the last time we came before the board for an amendment was a little more than 2 years ago in 2021. That amendment pertained to some beneficial design improvements that we had added to the design. We have completed and incorporated those. And at this point, over the last 2 years, there's been other updates and continued work on the design. Currently, we have more than 95% of the budget has been expended. Based on the project status, the design phase will extend into 2024, and there is some additional approvals and work needed, so additional budget is being requested to address these new requirements. This is a graphic that shows you some of the major milestones that are in front of us and the target timing. The blue box is all the engineering and environmental updates that we're working on completing. Our target is to complete those by early 2024. The green box represents a milestone called Ready to List. And Ready to List means that we've checked all the boxes on a detailed checklist, things like having our right-of-way acquired, our utility agreements in place, all of our interagency agreements in place, the plans completed, and the permits. So we're targeting having that done by summer of 2024. And once we've reached that milestone, that gives Caltrans the ability to advertise the job for construction. You'll note the asterisk up there. These are all contingent on us completing some interagency agreements, and that's the topic of this next slide. Really, the critical path for the project is for us to complete a 4-party master agreement and an operations agreement. And both of these agreements have a significant level of complexity. The policy matters that are involved in having a new tolled connector touchdown on the median of the 91 with an existing express lanes are very complex, and they will take some time for us to continue working and resolve. And then just the technical complexity of how this will work, how the tolling rates will change over time. Those are also being worked on, and they're taking some time. Our approach to get through these remaining, these 2 critical path items is continued close coordination with our partners, ongoing meetings to facilitate understanding and resolution of concerns. We also have some additional engineering effort in front of us. I'll just highlight these briefly. Twice yearly, Caltrans issues updates to all of their standard plans, specifications, and details. And those affect the plan set that we have. Until we reach that green box that I mentioned, that Ready to List milestone, when updates come out twice yearly, we need to go through and update the plans and make sure everything is 100% current. There's a new approval process through the State Fire Marshal's office that we have to complete. We're adding 1 new toll point on the system, and like our other toll points, we have a backup generator, and so we'll be obtaining a permit for that backup generator. Also, during the last 9 months, we've been working with our toll system provider and working on the technical details, updates that are necessary to our existing toll facilities, and new features that have to be added. As a result of that development, there are some requirements for civil infrastructure that reflect back on the civil plans that we're working on, so that needs to be reflected in the plans as well. And finally, Caltrans has some safety system updates. There are 96 locations on the project within those 7 miles where we have safety devices, and those have to be, some of them need to be updated. So this is a summary of the budget that's been approved to date and the proposed budget amendment before you today. The top row you see original contract plus amendments to date is $23.09 million. The amendment before you today for additional design updates is $1,390,945. And as is typical, we're requesting a 10% contingency for unknowns that may come up. The combined total contract value with this new amendment would be $24.62 million. And to put that into context, I wanted to talk about typically for design services for a highway project such as this, the design services contract, it runs at 8 to 10% of the construction value. The construction value in this project is $300 million. So given this, this amendment that I'm requesting today, we would come in right at 8.2% of the construction value. So in light of how complex this project is and the magnitude of it, we're in a really good spot in terms of where we are budget-wise, even with this amendment. In summary, the contract budget is more than 95% expended. The project schedule is somewhat extended due to complexities of the interagency agreements and the overall project. Additional approval requirements need to be addressed, and updates to project design documents are needed to be incorporated to Caltrans' current standards and to achieve the ready-to-list milestone. So the item before you today is the Foothill Eastern Board is to authorize the CEO to execute Amendment Number 10 to the contract with HDR Engineering to provide final design services in an amount not to exceed $1,390,945, and to authorize the CEO to execute contract amendments up to 10% of that amount for additional services as needed. And with that, I am available to answer questions.
Questions? Director Voights?
Obviously, the 24191 is very anticipated by not only us as board members, but for the community in large, those that live in Riverside and those that live in Orange County, because the desperate need they have to get some kind of movement on 241, especially on Friday afternoons as people try to migrate back into their home of Riverside County. I know that the labor, I actually ran into some carpenter friends of mine that actually specialize in bridge work, and they're anticipating, I know that the Carpenters Union is be very much in support. So I think that, because this is a multi-agency project, that we need the cooperation and the assistance of other agencies. I think it might be a good time for Mr. Chamberlain to give us a thing of how the relationships are going between you and the other agencies. I mean, obviously, we had some rough waters with the last leader of the TCA, but you're mild-mannered, you come from the industry, and, I think that you bring a character that, mobility is what you're about, because coming from Caltrans, and I think that we are all here to make the best of our mobility here in Orange County, and that would be a needed thing. But with the price tag that's there, tell us how it's going with the cooperation with the other agencies, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Director Voights, thank you for the question. So I'll try and be brief. I would say certainly at my level and the executive level at OCTA and RCTC, partnering is going very well. I've had a number of meetings with Daryl Johnson and Ann Mayer specifically to talk about the 24191 and partnering, how we've worked together in the past and how we all expect we'll be working together going forward. The team here has been very receptive. We've been sharing information, sending all of the information that our partners have been asking over the last couple of months. We also recognize that both OCTA and RCTC are opening up 1 to 4 or 5 express lanes in Orange County, and at RCTC, the 15 dynamically priced system. Those are both opening up very soon, and both agencies have staff dedicated to making that start successfully. So we haven't had working group meetings in the last month or two because of demands and staff time. I fully understand the why behind it, but I am having meetings at the executive level to set priorities with the expectation that come the first of the calendar year, the working groups will be re-engaging robustly and setting the tone from the executives on how we're going to work better together going forward. Mentioned just last night at another event that I think partnerships and how we communicate and work with each other is how we're going to be successful with projects going forward.
Thank you so much, and we wish you Godspeed.
Yes, we do. Any other questions? Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
I echo what Director Voigt said. Ryan, you've got a fantastic personality and the right guy to lead us. I was confused. Is this additional scope of work? Is our relationship with OCTA and the other interagencies? Is this scope of work going to help get that signed, or is this sort of unrelated?
Dave, I'll take this one. So the type of work that we're trying to do with the master agreement and the operational agreement with our partners, we don't believe will materially impact the work that we're approving here today. This work that we're approving here today primarily is for updating design sheets and making sure we're accommodating Caltrans' new requirements. That work can be done concurrently. So we don't see an issue where if we're still working through the master agreements that there's going to be wasted effort in continuing to move forward with updating design sheets and the safety standards and requirements.
So the only wasted effort on this would be if we just can never come to an agreement with OCTA.
Correct.
And in your mind, is there any value? I don't know how long this takes. Would there be any value in furthering our relationship with OCTA before we sign this? As in, if it sounds like our relationship with OCTA is the critical path, do we need to initiate this now?
Yes.
Should we get further on down the road to ensure that this is valuable?
So I recognize where the question is coming from. I do believe, and we wouldn't be here asking for it today if we didn't think that we should continue to work on delivering the PS&E package and being ready for RTL. And a good example would be is if we do, strike an agreement with our partners, if it happens early in 2024, we want to be ready to go and have the design sheets already there, have the submittals to Caltrans and working through that approval process, instead of waiting and then having to come back and then do the updates and have another couple months delay to update those sheets. So I do believe it's important to continue to move forward.
Thanks, fair enough.
Hi, I'm Mario Orso. I'm the acting district director for 12. I just wanted to expand on Ryan's response. First of all, you do have the right guy negotiating with your partners that I can really validate. Second of all, infrastructure, like anything else major, requires decisions and risk management. And I think you all here under the leadership that you all are providing are going well with risk management. You need to go in parallel routes, right? You need to be pursuing what you're trying to get to, but at the same time managing the conversations to get to that point. But if you do it in a linear way, it's going to take you a very long time or longer, and therefore increases in costs due to the creeps in cost may end up being a higher a change in your budget. So I think your team here is making a good decision. It's a risk management decision, but it's a manageable risk that at the end has the large potential to pay off to reduce cost as you're negotiating, being ready to immediately press the button and mobilize once you reach consensus with your partners. The department is in total backup in helping facilitate those discussions. We're in support. We also understand that communication is important, like Ryan mentioned. And I only see good things happening. $300 million job, you have to hit some bumpy roads, right? And it has challenges, but I think your team here is managing the risk appropriately. We're partnering in the right way. I think the 10% contingency is appropriate also that they're putting in there. And look, to put out a $300 million job at 8%, my head gets off to your team here. So I think the team is still, in my opinion, steering you in the right way. It's a risk, but it's a manageable risk that can pay off substantially. Thank you.
I enjoy hearing Caltrans so positive. I look forward to this continuing relationship. Director Federico.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question, David, and to confirm what Mario just alluded to. We still believe that the project is about a $300 million construction project, right?
That's the most recent estimate, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions or comments? All right, this is an action item for Foothill Eastern, so without that, I will take a motion.
I'll be happy to move it. Being someone that was in the bridge work, and I know that my brothers in the construction industry are much anticipated, as the commuters are. So I will move this forward and wish it my blessings.
All right, do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, we'll go with Director Frost. So again, Foothill Eastern only, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, thank you. Just double checking, no further public comment, Madam Chair, or Clerk?
There are no public comments.
All right. So at this time, we'll proceed to the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you. Last week, I attended the 2023 Focus on the Future conference in San Francisco, along with approximately 800 other industry colleagues and partners. The conference usually draws in county and regional transportation agencies all over the state, toll operators, and private sector participants to share experiences, highlight upcoming projects, and interact with peers. This year's breakout sessions included conversations on state and local partnerships, vehicle miles traveled, and the different solutions to address mitigation for VMT, transportation innovations, and advancing active transportation projects. Also, last week, I had another meeting that I spoke about earlier with RCTC and OCTA CEOs. The meeting provided us an opportunity to engage deeper in resetting how our agencies are partnering and specifically discussing framing priorities we want our teams to focus on related to the 24191 ELC. We'll be having at least one more executive meeting with Daryl and Ann together for the 24191 before the working groups reconvene early next year. Shifting gears, the 241 pavement repair project to resolve the uneven roadway issues is moving forward nicely. The southbound side is complete, and crews have begun working on the northbound 241 with plans to finish up the work near Loma Ridge within the next 2 weeks. Once the work at Loma Ridge is complete, crews will mobilize at Windy Ridge in early 2024 to begin work. Moving on to the 73, in early December, Southern California Edison will be conducting work along the 73, requiring full nighttime closures of both northbound and southbound roadways. Older overhead power lines need to be removed by the end of the year from SCE. That's the why behind it. Closures will take place from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 4th. We are working on a public outreach campaign to make sure our customers know when the closures will be happening. Last month, you all likely remember, we converted over to our new back office system. This conversion was years in the making, involving detailed planning and testing. Staff worked long hours with our contractors over the long weekend closure to minimize impacts to the maximum extent practical to our customers. This new system provides us a modern platform with which to serve our customers, and it provides us a solid system foundation that is searchable, that is scalable, and supports partner agencies like SBCTA, that's San Bernardino County Transportation Agency. I am happy to report that the significant spike in call volumes and numbers in the walk-in center are now very close to normal after our back office migration a few weeks ago. Last night, I had the opportunity and the honor to speak at the American Society of Civil Engineers and Women in Transportation Seminars, WTS reception. I wanted to again thank Vice Chairs Kelly and Heft and Director Wagner and many of the fantastic TCA team members that were in attendance last night joining me. Thank you very much for your support and being there. Lastly, as a friendly reminder, all board members should have received a save the date for our upcoming board luncheon scheduled for Thursday, December 14th. A formal invitation will arrive soon as we set to gather in honor of our present and former board members. We always look forward to this event. Hopefully all of you can join us or at least make an effort to do so. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. And then, excuse me, for board chair reports and new business, Chair Taylor and I have spoken about, it's been a little while since we did kind of a review of all of the legal contracts that we've got. So we're going to go ahead and form an ad hoc that'll comprise of 3 members of each board to go through and review all the contracts we have for legal services. So rather than just tell you you're on there, we're going to reach out to the 3 and make sure that you're interested before we go ahead and do that. But we'll be doing that before the next meeting. Any other discussion, Mr. Taylor?
No further comments.
All right. Mr. Rubin, you'll go ahead and take us into closed session then.
Thank you, Chair O'Neill. Yes, we're going to be going to a joint closed session under subdivision A and D2 of Government Code Section 54956.9, significant exposure to litigation, one matter. We do not anticipate reportable action afterwards.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll adjourn into closed session and then come back after. Thanks. All right, we've returned from closed session. Mr. Rubin, do we have a report out?
No, Chair, no reportable action.
I appreciate that. So we stand adjourned until our next meeting, Thursday, December 14th, 2023 at 9:30. Thank you.